Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity baseball contest between the visiting Wildcats of Milton High School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. This one should be a fun one, folks. It's a beautiful day for baseball. High 60s, low 70s in terms of temperature. Pretty comfortable. Nary a cloud in the sky, really. Bit of a stiff breeze that could have an impact on things, but otherwise quite the lovely day. I'm happy to be here. I hope you're happy to be tuning in. And I'm not the only one happy to be here on the mic today, folks. Joining me as my color commentator for today, Brookline High sophomore Nico Wise. And Nico, as we head down the final stretch this season, this one a pivotal game and looks pretty close on paper, doesn't it?
Well, totally, Jesse. This should be a fun one. Brookline coming into this game with a record of 8-6, and with Brookline needing just 2 more wins to guarantee a playoff spot, this would be a big one for Brookline to get onto the win column. But Jesse, that's easier said than done. This Milton team beat them 9-5 last year, and even though Brookline has the record advantage this year, you can't ever get too risky. But with Nico Rabiner on the mound, your guy for Brookline at pitcher, definitely a boost of odds here for Brookline.
Indeed. Like you said, Brookline with an advantage record-wise, but the slimmest of advantages. Brookline 8-6, like you said. Milton coming in with a record of 7-7. These two teams play in different divisions. Brookline in Division 1, Milton in Division 2. The latest power rankings came out Friday morning. The next ones, I believe, will come out tomorrow morning. But as of Friday morning, Brookline ranked 33rd in the Division 1 power rankings. So if they finished with a below 500 record with that ranking, they would just miss the playoffs. Milton, meanwhile, ranked 17th in Division 2. So even if they dropped below 500, then they would still make a playoff spot. But like you said, Nico, the best way to guarantee a spot in the playoffs is to get that magical 10th win to guarantee a 500 or better record in a 20-game season. And you mentioned that loss to Milton last year. That was actually Brookline's last loss right before they clinched a postseason berth last year. That, I think, was like Brookline's 6th loss in a row, as they had gone from 9-2 to 9-8 following that loss to Milton, before finally squeaking out a 5-4 nail-biter win at Wellesley to get magical win number 10. And ironically enough, Brookline is actually going to be playing Wellesley on Wednesday, and we're both going to be here for that one. And so if Brookline were to win today, they could be in a position to potentially clinch a playoff berth against Wellesley for the 2nd year in a row. But as you said, Nico, easier said than done. We're going to read starting lineups in a second, but first I want to take a moment to thank our local sponsor for today. As you can see from the logo in the middle of your screen, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Esch Dental, located right in Coolidge Corner. Book your next dental appointment with local dentist and BHS baseball parent Dr. Brandon Esch for the non-corporate personalized dentistry our community deserves. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to eashdental.com. That link and phone number is in the description section down below. So now let's take a look at the starting lineups. Milton finishing up their pregame warm-up. Soon Brookline will come out to take the field for the top of the 1st inning here. So let's take a look at the lineups. We'll start with the team finishing their warm-ups here, the Milton High Wildcats. Leading off for Milton today, the right fielder, number 5, Harry Hinkle. Batting second, the center fielder, number 13, Scott Longo. Batting third, the catcher, number 19, Nick Antoniewicz. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, number 15, Brady Sturdivant. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 11, Ryan Kelly. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 2, Timmy Cross. Batting 7th, the shortstop, number 17, Jack Naughton. Batting 8th, the third baseman, number 8, Teddy Dunn. Batting 9th, the second baseman, number 7, Peter Buckley. And starting on the mound for Milton today, number 4, James Burns. That's the starting lineup for Milton. And now as they are finishing up their warm-ups, and soon Brookline will come out to take the field for the start of the game. Let's go through the lineup for Brookline today. Leading off for the Warriors, the third baseman and co-captain, number 9, Elias Brendel. Batting second, the second baseman, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. Batting third, the catcher and assistant captain, number 8, Felix Hom. Batting cleanup, the shortstop, number 5, Jimmy DiPaolo. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 18, Adam Rosenblatt. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, number 1, Lincoln Hafner. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 4, Eli Hoffman. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 11, Wally Lawrence. Batting ninth, the center fielder, number 3, Devin Chin. And starting on the mound for Brookline today, number 17, Nikolai Rabiner. Head coach of the Brookline High baseball team is Brendan O'Connor. And now we get ready to get this one started. You know, like you said, Nico, last year, kind of a high-scoring game between these two teams, but they got some good pitchers on the mound, some pitching specialists who are not in the batting order or anything like that. And so similar to what we had with the Natick game, I believe it was last week, where their earlier matchup was a high-scoring affair, but then it turned into a pitcher's duel the second time around, could be something similar here.
Well, definitely, Jesse. I mean, with the addition last year of Brookline not having Nico Rabner and the effect he's brought to this Brookline defense, and we've seen just how much of a threat he can be. The only thing, though, Jesse, is we've seen a couple times Nico Rabner, it takes a little bit for him to settle into the game. We've seen a couple times he's given up 3-4 run innings just in the first, and if he's able to control that and settle into this game, I think it's going to be a big factor here for Brookline, and we've seen throughout the season, we've seen less and less of that, and him being able to just settle into the game much and much earlier. And this being his first year on varsity, he's done a great job with that, and frankly, he's kept Brookline in so many games, and he's just been such a big factor, and with him starting on the mound today, I think this gives Brookline just an even better shot.
Absolutely, could not agree more. And we'll see stats for him in a second that will really display. We'll wait until he's on the mound warming up before we show that, but really, you know, couldn't have said it better myself, Nico. He's been absolutely an incredible addition to this pitching staff. I mean, they graduated 2 of their top pitchers from last year in Charlie Engelman and Nico Hart, and there was going to be a question about who are going to be the new guys to step up, and Nikolai Rabiner has really just been an absolute phenom on the mound so far, although I would also give credit to the rise of another first-year varsity player, Q Miller, who has also been highly effective for this team on the mound. Had a great pitching performance against a highly ranked Braintree squad last week in a makeup game last Thursday. And then, of course, the rise of Ben Cody out of the bullpen. You know, he only appeared in a few games last year and had not the best pitching stats, but this year he's been a stud out of the bullpen for Brookline. So a lot of guys have really stepped up to help fill that void on the mound for Brookline and have put them in a position to succeed here. And now my question for you, Nico. I mentioned beautiful day out, but strong breeze here, so this could be kind of interesting because I remember the last game we did together, that Natick game, we talked about how the ball can fly further when the weather gets warmer. When you combine that with how intense the winds are going to be, this could be a really interesting one here.
Well, as we can't really predict the weather throughout this game, you'll see the weather blow west, north, east. So throughout the game, I think both teams need to think about how they can apply that. As we've talked about with the warmer weather, these balls going further, but with the wind, it kind of negates some of that, especially with baseball. But we'll see what they're able to do here.
All right, warming up on the mound now is Nikolai Rabiner. We got his stats on screen. He's made 6 previous starts, a team-leading 6 starts. Also leads the team in pitching wins with 3, as he's got a record of 3-1 so far this season, and leads the team in everything else pretty much. Innings pitched, 30 2/3 innings. ERA 1.37, WHIP 1.43, strikeouts 32, all team-leading marks, as that's what a single asterisk represents when I show these stat graphics. Remember, 1 asterisk means they lead the team outright. 2 asterisks means they're tied for the team lead. You'll see some of the hitting stats as we go to the bottom half of the innings. But for now, an impressive stat sheet for Nikolai Rabiner. As you get ready for the top of the first inning, it'll be the top of the order due up for Milton, Harry Hinkle, Scott Longo, and Nick Antonowitz. And we'll see how things handle here. We talked a little bit about how Nikolai Rabiner can sometimes take a little bit to settle in. Sometimes he'll give up like a walk and a single to start an inning and then kind of have to wrestle his way out of the jam, especially early in the game. We'll see how he handles things here.
Well, getting out of the jam is kind of a specialty here, but can't always rely on that, Jesse, because we've seen sometimes in these games, these low-scoring games, giving up those runs early is definitely a factor.
All right, here we go to start this one off. Warriors versus Wildcats. The first pitch misses just low for ball 1 to the right fielder, number 5, Harry Hinkle.
Yeah, Hinkle was 1 for 3 in their matchup last year with a hit-by-pitch. 3 stolen bases, something Brookline specializes in, so took something from the Brookline playbook there. Also had 3 runs for Milton, so definitely a big factor as he starts off the order for Milton.
And he starts off, unfortunately for him, with a pop out to the catcher. Good read by Felix Hom behind the plate, had to kind of bob and weave around Hinkle as he stepped out of the box, but tracked that one well for the first out. Now coming up, the center fielder, number 13, Scott Longo. First pitch to Longo is going to catch the low corner for strike 1.
Yeah, Longo was 0 for 2 last time with a stolen base and a run.
And he launches a deep shot out to left. That one's heading close to the fence, and it's going to go over the fence. Scott Longo launches a missile for the game's first run as he sends that way over the straightaway left field fence.
Well, although he was 0 for 2 in their last matchup, a home run, a solo home run to start the game is definitely what Milton wanted, and I don't think that's really what anybody really expected. What we talked about with the warmer weather, how much of a factor. I mean, we saw a couple games ago Elias Brendel had a home run that unfortunately neither of us were there for, but Jesse, that's the first home run you and I have seen so far this season, and definitely an important one for Milton. Although it was a solo home run, as we talked about, Nico Radmer giving up those early runs, and shows right there as Milton takes the 1-0 lead.
1-0, 1 out, bases still empty, and that one going to skip in the dirt. It's a 2-1 count now to the catcher, number 19, Nick Antonowitz. And this is going to be a real test of how Rabiner can kind of settle down after seeing one of his pitches launched like that. Swing and a miss there for Antonowitz, strike 2.
Well, definitely not shying away from the pitches he knows he's able to throw. Even though he just gave up that home run, he just got to control himself, and showing it right there.
That one just high. We got a battle here between Rabiner and Antonowitz. Full count. Sliced foul, and Antonowitz will stay alive. Wind currently died down here for a second, but when it was blowing, it was kind of blowing out towards left field. So we mentioned the wind as a possible factor, definitely played in there. Payoff pitches, a swing and a miss for strike 3 as Rabiner gets his first K of the day and rebounds nicely to get out number 2.
Although he's given up 1 already, Rabner definitely looks strong at that at-bat. And honestly, we've talked about just him needing to be able to control himself, and he did that there.
This pitch high for ball 1 to the designated hitter number 15, Brady Sturdivant. One of the few names on this Milton roster I'm not familiar with from last year's game, as he fouls that one off for strike 1.
Yeah, Sturdivant did not play last year in their game against Brookline. So we'll see if he's able to be a factor here for Milton, as they already have the 1-zip lead.
That one curves in nicely for strike 2. Rabiner, a pitcher that loves using that fastball of his, but he can mix in a breaking ball every now and again. That one high and inside, ball 2. 2-2 the count, 2 down, bases empty here in the top of the first. And that's going to be strike 3 as Rabiner gets back-to-back Ks to end the inning. But a powerful shot from Scott Longo puts Milton on the board first, 1-0.
Yeah, and like we said, although he gave up that 1 run, he definitely looked more controlled. And we talked about him settling in so far in this season and the starts he's had earlier. We've said he's given up some early runs, but although he gave up 1, and it wasn't really what he expected to happen, I think he did well settling into that. And this Brookline offense definitely going to need to start off strong here. As we know, the top of their order is so strong for Brookline. See if they can almost replicate. Maybe Elias Brendel replicates what Longo just did.
I mean, I'd love to see it, but, you know, an important point that you're making there, Nico, is, you know, it was a home run, yes, but it was still only 1 run. I mean, we mentioned Elias Brendel's homer from a couple weeks ago. Brookline lost that game, you know, so there's a lot more than just the home run, and there's a lot of game left to be played. Milton certainly firing the first shot across the bow, so to speak, but we'll see how Brookline's offense responds against the Wildcats pitcher, James Burns. Pardon me for that one, folks. We got our first note in the live chat from Ellen and Alan Rosenblatt out in Lenox, Massachusetts, saying, "Go Adam and go Brookline." Happy to see you guys tuning in again. Hope you guys enjoy the game. As leading off for Brookline here, the third baseman, number 9, Elias Brendel.
Yeah, Brendel was 2 for 4 in their last matchup with a stolen base and a run and an RBI. Definitely a big hitter here for Brookline, so see if he can replicate what Longo did, or at least start something off here for Brookline.
Yeah, Brendel had a big RBI double against Milton last year, like you said there, Nico. Takes 2 high balls for an early 2-0 count. We know he can be a patient hitter. You can see his stats there at the bottom of your screen, just above that Esch Dental logo. A team-leading 11 walks so far, as that one from Burns does hit the zone for strike 1. He's also tied for the lead in triples and leads the team in home runs, as well as leading in runs scored. So we know he can be dangerous when he gets on the base paths, and the hitters behind him can make him dangerous, as he's currently got a hitter's count at 3-1. Swing and a miss there, though. We got an early full count.
Yeah, you talked about it, though. Jesse, Brookline done very well this season, not swinging at anything they don't really need to swing at. They've done well with the vision.
Defensive swing from Brendel there, fouls it off, and he stays alive as that one went out of play. And yeah, this is where the vision really has to be top-notch with a full count. Can't let any strikes get past you. But he takes that one inside, and Elias Brendel battles his way to a leadoff walk, and Brookline has got a runner aboard.
Yeah, it did well, as we talked about, the patience and vision, and he'll get the walk to start off the game here for Brookline. Hugh Bollinger had a rough day against Milton as he went 0 for 4, did have a stolen base, but not a huge hitting day for Hugh Bollinger last year. So see if he can flip the script.
Might be flipping it here, but it looks like that one is going to be tracked out in center field, and it's going to be caught out in center by Longo for out number 1. So a quick 1 pitch out there for Bollinger. 1 down in the inning. Can't fault him for taking the quick swing there, though, as he got some nice contact, just a little too much under it. Now batting the catcher, number 8, Felix Hom, as he takes that one inside for ball 1.
Yeah, Hom was just 0 for 1 last time these two teams met.
Hits a hard bouncer, but right at the shortstop. They might turn 2, but they missed. Brendel going to take second, and he's going to try for third as that one slowly rolls into right field. Elias Brendel jumping on the mistake by the Milton fielders. And instead of ending the inning, Brookline instead will have runners on the corners for the heart of their order.
Yeah, I mean, just the mistake there as Jack Naughton was right there looking to scoop it up to have a potential double play to end the inning. But Elias Brendel saw that, chased off to third, and like you said, men on corners here with Jimmy DiPaolo up at bat. One of the main guys you want in this scenario here to hopefully have Brookline being able to tie the game with still only 1 out. They have some breathing room here with men on corners.
And stepping on to first base in place of the catcher Felix Hom, number 6, Rasik Waikar, the courtesy runner, as the shortstop, number 5, Jimmy DiPaolo at the plate. Takes ball 1 there, 1-1 the count. Tied for the team lead in hits and triples, as you can see there on the bottom of your screen. Up in a big situation here. Is that one going to be outside for ball 2? It'll be interesting to see if they try and send Waikar to steal to maybe eliminate the possibility of the double play.
Well, totally, yeah, Jesse. And Jimmy DiPaolo was 0 for 2 last time with an RBI.
And he hits a grounder up the middle. This might turn 2. Shortstop tags second, but he throws high, and DiPaolo reaches, and a run will come across.
Yeah, that ball was just a little high from Naughton, and DiPaolo will get to first, but not before Brendel will get back and tie the game for Brookline here. And with 2 outs here, DiPaolo on first. Brookline hopefully try and get the lead, but at least have tied the game up here as Rosenblatt is up to the plate.
First baseman, number 18, Adam Rosenblatt, he takes strike 1. Currently leads the team in all slash line categories, batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging, as he hits one up the middle to keep the rally going for the Warriors. With a clean single there. Brookline's first base hit, actually. But now 2 on for Brookline as they're trying to apply some pressure and see if they can't potentially turn this from a deficit to a tie and maybe even into a lead, as up comes the designated hitter, number 1, Lincoln Hafner.
Yeah, Lincoln Hafner did not have any at-bats last time these two teams played, but definitely a big threat for Brookline. See if he can have something, as he is quite the scenario here with the man on first and second, but 2 outs, so has to be a little cautious here.
No breathing room for any sacrifice plays or anything, but Hafner is going to line one out to left, and that's going to drop in. Rounding third is Waikar, headed for the plate, and the throw to home was spiked, and now going down to third, they're going to tag Rosenblatt out, and so that will end the inning, but the run will count. And so with a chaotic finish, we end the first inning. Our score at the end of 1, Brookline 2, Milton 1.
Well, quite the interesting start at the top of the first with the home run, but Jesse, Brookline really responded very well. We've seen and we've talked about how this Brookline offense and the pitching core has taken a little bit of time in early parts of games to settle in, but Brookline firing on all cylinders there as they got 2 runs to take the lead. Everyone really at bat there did such a great job, and Bollinger, I know he got out, but he had a great effort, and it was pretty close for a homer, but great effort from Brookline as they take the 2-1 lead, and kind of a great start here for Brookline, Jesse.
Absolutely. Slight correction there. I said it was Rosenblatt got thrown out at third. It was actually Jimmy DiPaolo. I lost track of things there for a second. Rasik Waikar came in to score as the... Actually, hold on. Let me see if I've got... No, I was mistaken. It was DiPaolo who scored. My goodness. Waikar was out at second on the fielder's choice that DiPaolo grounded into. DiPaolo came in to score on the single by Hafner. It was Rosenblatt who got thrown out at third. So I was half right, half wrong, completely wrong on my initial correction, and then corrected my correction to get us accurate information. So DiPaolo in to score as Brookline takes the 2-1 lead on the RBI single by Lincoln Hafner. But Rosenblatt out at third to end the inning. We now go to the top of the second. Nikolai Rabiner back on the mound. We got a grounder over to short, fielded. No, not fielded. It skips past DiPaolo into left as Ryan Kelly, the first baseman, is going to reach on an E6 for the Wildcats.
Well, definitely interesting, Jesse, here with the longer grass. It kind of makes a little confusion, and DiPaolo just reached a little early, and it got past him.
Yeah, it definitely took a weird hop off the end of the infield grass there, and like you said, it looked like, it kind of took a floating bounce there at the end that DiPaolo tried to charge in for and just missed it. This pitch is going to be low and away for ball one with a runner on first and nobody out. Up is the left fielder, number 2, Timmy Cross. Slices that one up in the air and out of play for strike one.
Yeah, Timmy Cross 0 for 3 last time in these two matchup last year.
And he skies one here out to left center, being tracked by Eli Hoffman out in left, and he makes the grab for out number 1, tracking the wind well, even though he lost his hat to that wind in the process. And that'll be out number 1.
Yeah, Brookline defense did a great job. Top of the first, Felix Hom did a great job tracking that, and now Hoffman did a great job there. So not allowing anything big error-wise for Brookline here, which is definitely something we've seen happen so far this season that's really affected them, but done a great job early.
This one going to be lifted foul and out of play down the right field side. As at the plate currently is the shortstop, number 17, Jack Naughton. A tough defensive inning for him in the bottom of the first, but a chance to rebound here at the plate as he fouls that one off. 1-2 now the count.
Yeah, Naughton was 1 for 3, had a run and an RBI last time.
Milton had a big offensive day against Brookline last year. And that game you're talking about, 9-5, the Wildcats beat the Warriors as Naughton takes an outside ball 2. Runner at first with 1 out here in the top of the second. Brookline leading Milton 2-1. That one's going to miss. Ball 3. Naughton has battled his way to a full count here.
Yeah, this would definitely be a big strikeout here for Rabiner.
And it is a big strikeout for Rabiner as he gets him swinging and missing at the low dipping breaking ball there for his 3rd strikeout so far today. 2 down in the top of the second as up comes the 3rd baseman, number 8, Teddy Dunn.
Yeah, Naughton just reached a little low there, but Rabiner did a great job getting the strikeout.
That one tipped by Dunn for strike 1. Dunn, another player who did not play in last year's game, but I think his older brother, Max Dunn, did play in last year's game. So Dunn family continuing to play here for Milton baseball as Teddy Dunn chases that one low for strike 2. Runner at first, 2 down, 0-2 the count. And Dunn might have chased that one a little bit high, but got a piece of it and sent it out of play to stay alive.
Yeah, just stayed alive there. And Rabiner has a chance to end the top of the second here for Brookline, and with a man on first would definitely be big.
Oh, but a good check swing there from Dunn. Almost fooled him. Kind of went for the same strategy that got Naughton swinging there for a slower, lower pitch on the breaking ball, but Dunn didn't bite. He does bite on this one, and he lifts it out to center. Chin tracking it with the wind, and he's got it for out number 3.
Yeah, Brookline, again, Jesse, done a great job with the sun and the wind tracking these balls out of the air and not allowing any unforced errors.
We go to the bottom of the second, Brookline leading 2-1, and Brookline will be sending their 7, 8, 9 hitters, Hoffman, Lawrence, and Chin, to the plate to match up with Burns. Burns had himself what should have been a pretty strong inning for him, but some defensive mistakes, particularly by the middle infielders, proved costly for Milton in the bottom of the first inning, and Brookline jumped all over that to get 2 runs and take the lead.
Yeah, well, definitely Brookline did a good job capitalizing in the scenario they were given. And this would definitely be a big job, as we talked about, Jesse. Sometimes this Brookline offense, like the pitching core for Brookline, just takes a little bit to ease into games and sometimes just force some things on the offensive side, swinging when not really needed to. But Brookline, definitely a hot start in the first, allowed them to get 2 runs. And while the inning was ending, there was still, if there was an extra out, there was going to be a man on second and third. So definitely a big start here for Brookline on the offensive side, and they'll look to keep it up here at the bottom of the second.
First pitch to the left fielder, number 4, Eli Hoffman, catches the outside corner for strike 1. And one little fun fact I want to add in from last inning. First, we're going to watch this fly ball from Hoffman fly out to left center, well tracked out in left for out number 1. But what I was saying was last inning, Lincoln Hafner got the RBI single. That was actually his first RBI since that big game he had against Natick in his varsity debut all the way back in, I think, like the second or third game of the season for Brookline, as he collected his 4th RBI of the season. Now with 1 down here on the bottom of the second, up comes the right fielder, number 11, Wally Lawrence, as he's going to start with a 2-0 count. Lawrence so far this season 1 for 9 with a walk, a hit by pitch, and 2 runs scored as he hits a high chopper over to short. It's fielded well off the bounce, but it's dropped by the first baseman. Lawrence thought about going to second, but he's going to retreat back to the bag and take the reach on the error there as the infield woes continue for Milton.
Yeah, again, another error that shouldn't have really happened for Milton. Just they have to do a better job on those throws to first.
That time, I don't think it was even the throw. That to me, that one's on the catch.
Yeah.
I list that one as an E3 as it just popped out of his glove. Devin Chin shows bunt but pulls back, and he takes what I believe is strike 1. Lawrence jumps back to the bag. Chin, we know, the speedster, the bunt master that he can be, which is why the third baseman, Dunn, is pulled up deep on the infield grass. As that one gonna miss, low and in, I believe, for ball 1, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Brookline definitely trying to get Chin on base here. As like you said, he's such a speedster.
Slices that one, it's in foul territory. It might be playable just barely over the fence as Dunn was giving chase there. It'll be strike 2. So the bunt strategy definitely out the window here, but even if he can't reach, if he could potentially move Lawrence into scoring position before they cycle to the top of the order, that could also be big for the Warriors offense.
Yeah, and Chin did not play in the last matchup of these two teams.
Reaches out, fouls that one off, stays alive at 1-2. And you can see Chin has kind of a lighter swing, and oftentimes when he's swinging, his body is already moving up that first base line just to give him that advantage on the base pads if he can get this ball in play.
Well, definitely the interesting player here for Brookline, but proved to be be a factor, a pivotal factor for Brookline, as we've seen so many times. So many other players wouldn't be able to get onto base, but he has been able to.
Swing and a miss there, and that will be strike 3. Chin down on strikes for out number 2, as Brookline now cycles back around to the top of the order with the third baseman, number 9, Elias Brendel. Brendel, his last time up, led off with a walk, later came in to score thanks to a number of defensive errors by the Wildcats. That ended up being the tying run. Brookline now here with the lead. We'll see what Brendel can do here. Takes a low, ball 1.
Yeah, Brendel definitely a hitting specialist here for Brookline, as we know how much a threat he can be on those, getting doubles and triples as he leads the team in that category.
And he skies one here deep to right center. Got a bit too much air under it. Center fielder is under it for out number 3. Close to the fence, but not enough help from the wind there as it falls short of the fence.
Well, Milton did a good job there, not allowing anything after a strong offensive Brookline start in the first, but still, again, Jesse, another error for Milton, as they allow, even though Wally Lawrence didn't do much on base, it's still a threat, and you can't let these errors pack up on each other. As we saw, it allowed Brookline a lot of those runs that got home were off of errors. And really, Jesse, we see sometimes a lot of these teams fall into that pattern of doing that. So this Milton side defensively really needs to tighten up, as we know they're able to do. But really, so far this game, their defensive side, a lot of just errors they really don't want to have.
During this break between innings, it's a quick break, but I'm going to try and get an ad in, read in real quick as we thank our sponsor, Esch Dental. Actually, we're going straight into the inning, so I'll do it next inning. I'll do it at the end of the third. As we start the top of the third here, it'll be the 9-1-2 hitters due up for Milton, starting with the second baseman, number 7, Peter Buckley. First pitch from Rabiner going to be inside for ball 1.
Yeah, Buckley did not participate in the matchup last year.
Fouls off that pitch for strike 1. As this the last batter from both teams' first turns through the batting order. As Buckley lifts one into right center, but it's going to hang a little too much, and an easy can of corn for Devin Chin out in center for out number 1.
Yeah, and like I've said many times, Jesse, Brookline, unlike what Milton's been able to do, been able to track balls, whether it be on the ground or in the air, and Devin Chin presenting that, almost a replicate of what he did last inning.
First pitch there is strike 1 as we cycle around to the top of the order with the right fielder, number 5, Harry Hinkle. And an interesting note, building off what you said, Nico, as that's going to be a low ball 1, is that Brookline has only faced one ball on the ground so far today, and that was the error by DePaulo as the ball skipped past him. Everything else has either been in the air or on strikes, and Brookline has been tracking the fly ball as well, like you've said, as they've been taking care of business, but balls on the ground have been kind of the kryptonite for Milton's defense so far today, as Hinkle lifts one out to center. And again, it's carried too far, and it's an easy catch for Devin Chin, who has already made several catches out in center.
Yeah, Chin doing a great job tracking the balls. Talk about a speedster he is, but also great vision tracking those balls out of the air. And like you've said, this Milton team really just trying to replicate what Longo did.
As he's going to sky this one, it's not going to fly far enough, but it's going to be a tough tracking job. But Hugh Bollinger makes it look easy as he snags that one for out number 3. And down in order, the Wildcats go. Nico Rabiner with an efficient third inning there, We move to the bottom of the third, still 2-1 in a relatively low-scoring affair so far. Brookline will be trying to add to that lead here in the bottom of the third with their 2, 3, 4 hitters, Bollinger, Hom, and DiPaolo.
Well, Brookline definitely did a great job in that inning. Excuse me, in the inning before on offense. Sorry, the inning before they didn't do a great job. So looking to replicate what they did in the first inning, getting all those runs. As you have a bunch of great hitters here for Brookline to start it off.
And certainly Milton does not want to replicate the defensive struggles they had in that first inning. As good as it was for Brookline, a couple of nice reaches on base. A lot of that was thanks to some miscues in the infield by the Wildcats in that first inning. As Brookline, so far, they've got just 2 base hits and 1 walk, all of them in the first inning. Now leading off here in the bottom of the third, the second baseman, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. Flew out to center his last time up, and this at-bat is going to last longer than that first one, as this time he takes the first pitch low for ball 1. And then takes a high one for ball 2.
Yeah, definitely, Jesse. This Milton defense definitely needs to tighten up, as we saw so many unforced errors happen in the innings prior. And they just need to tighten up. But if you're Brookline, try and expose that, as it's been working for you.
And right now, just in the zone for strike 1. Bollinger thought he had the 4-pitch walk, but instead it's going to be a 3-1 count as Burns trying to tighten up himself and get back in the strike zone. But not that time. It'll be a 5-pitch walk for Hugh Bollinger to lead off the inning.
Well, definitely, Jesse, a player you want out there, as we know how much of a stealing base specialist he is. He had a stolen base in their last matchup together, but he's one of those players on that Brookline side that definitely likes to go for it.
He's taking a sizable lead off of first, as that first pitch to the catcher, number 8, Felix Hom, drops low and in for ball 1. Hom, his last time up, grounded into what could have potentially been a double play, but was instead an error, as he hits a shot right at the shortstop. Wait, it was dropped, and they're going to turn that into a double play. Tough one there for Brookline. Bollinger thought it was going to be caught, and they're going to appeal this one, but I don't think they're going to win this appeal. 1 base runner on is not going to draw you any kind of infield fly rule, especially not on a line drive like that. Dropped initially by Naughton, but he takes that lemon and turns it into lemonade, as he turns it into a 6-3 double play.
Well, like we've said, the errors, but he's lucky that one did get away from Jesse, as it was still going. But even though he wasn't able to corral it the first time, he's still able to pick it up and, like you said, turn lemon into lemonade as he gets the double play.
Yeah, Bollinger was thinking he had to go back to first. Hom was thinking he was already out, and so neither one was heading towards the base they needed to be heading towards. Jimmy DiPaolo, though, going to loop this one out to right for a 2-out single, as Brookline not done just yet here on offense. But now it's going to be a runner at first, 2 down for the first baseman, number 18, Adam Rosenblatt. Rosenblatt did get a single his last time up, was thrown out at third as he tried to advance on the throw home on that RBI single by Lincoln Hafner. That pitch also going to miss to the outside. 2-0 the count to Rosenblatt. Runner at first, 2 down here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, Rosenblatt doing a good job, especially with 2 outs here, not forcing anything with the swings yet.
Takes that one in the zone for strike 1. Still patiently awaiting his pitch, like you said, Nico. 2-1 now the count. Takes a swing at that one and fouls it as it gets stuck in the backstop there for strike 2. 2-2 the count. Got to protect the plate now.
Yeah, and if you're Milton here, you really just want to get out of this inning with nothing allowed. Chance to do it here.
And Rosenblatt defends the plate there as he fouls that one off up the first base side. Count remains 2-2. DePaulo still at first with 2 down, and Brookline leading by 1 here in the third. That one gonna miss outside. Good watch from Rosenblatt as he battles his way to a full count.
Yeah, Burns just want to ends it here.
And oh, that one tipped and dropped. That one almost tipped into the glove, but Antonowitz could not hold on to it, and so it goes as a foul ball, and Rosenblatt survives for at least one more pitch. Pickoff throw, and they got him. A slow retreat back to the bag by DePaulo, and they make him pay with the pickoff throw there. And so after all that battle between Burns and Rosenblatt, they don't even get to finish the battle. They'll finish it next inning, as that is going to end the third. Our score at the end of 3, Brookline 2, Milton 1. And during this break between the third and fourth inning, I'd like to take a moment for our local sponsor, to thank our local sponsor, Esch Dental. Do you have a tooth that just doesn't look right in photos, too far out, too far back, or one that prevents you from showing that smile at all? The team at Esch Dental has everything you need to get that smile perfectly aligned. Their average Invisalign case lasts about 9 months, and the treatment is practically invisible compared to metal braces. Adults and teens alike get their teeth straightened and their bites aligned with Esch Dental. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com. All that information in the description section down below. We move to the top of the fourth now. Rabiner back on the bump for Brookline as he'll be facing the 3-4-5 hitters, Antonowitz, Sturdivant, and Kelly. First leading off, the catcher number 19, Nick Antonowitz, as he's going to take inside ball 1.
Yeah, Antonowitz struck out early.
As he pops this one up, it's going to be tracked and just barely caught by Brendel, almost taking out his shortstop DePaulo in his effort to track that one. The wind definitely playing a factor on that pop fly, but it is going to end as a simple pop out to third, even if the effort to get it was anything but ordinary. So a quick first out, as now this first pitch going to dip low at the plate, the designated hitter, number 15, Brady Sturdivant. And he gets jammed on that one, taken off one hop by Brendel, throw to first in time for out number 2. Brendel making nice plays in the field over there at the hot corner, getting Brookline's first 2 outs.
Well, definitely, just Ian. We've seen it since he's been playing third base. He's done a great job when anything came his way. He's had to throw to first. The connection between him and Rosenblatt has really been very solid, and no unforced errors really very much, as their connection has worked out really well, and you saw it right just there.
Now batting with 2 down and the base is empty. We got a 1-1 count to the first baseman, Ryan Kelly, as he fouls off strike 2. And yeah, Elias Brendel, you know, anything but a specialist for this Brookline team, as he does it all. He hits well, runs well, fields well in both outfield and infield. And last year we saw he could even pitch well, as that one is going to be high for ball two. Brendel hasn't had to pitch too much because of a lot of the guys stepping up this year, like we've mentioned before. But he can do a little of everything. That one just missed. Hom thought that his pitcher had strike three, but instead it's going to be a full count to Kelly. And that's going to be a high ball four. So instead of the end of the inning, Kelly going to trot down to first with what I believe is, the first walk of the day for the Milton batters. 2 outs, runner on first as up comes Timmy Cross, and he fouls off the first pitch for strike one. Just 1 hit and 1 walk allowed for Rabiner so far through his first 3 2/3 innings pitched.
Well, Jesse, although he's a sophomore, he's really proven himself this year as Brookline's #1 and showing it here. And he's just been we've talked about it every game.
I know, ad nauseum almost.
He's just been such a pivotal factor for Brookline, keeping them in these games and in tight scenarios. That's the guy you wanted.
A line shot out to left, and it's going to go past Eli Hoffman all the way to the wall for extra bases. Longo legging it down to third. He's going to round third, head for the plate, and they're not going to be able to catch him as Milton ties it up on a 2-out RBI double by Timmy Cross.
Well, I mean, Jesse Cross, all credit to him there, but just think about it. A few plays ago, Rabiner had a chance to end the inning, and we wouldn't be in this scenario right now. Brookline would be up hitting, and just talk about how important that would have been there. But Rabiner got to get that clear his mind. Has a man on second, can't allow anything else as Milton ties the game. This is a big strikeout here for him, as we know he's able to do it, but he's got to show it right here. This is the time.
All right, Nico Wise calling the shot for Nikolai Rabiner, saying he's going to get the strikeout here for out number 3 to Jack Naughton. 2 down, runner at second. Tight spot here as the game is once again tied at 2, as might have jinxed Rabiner a bit there, as he allowed just his second hit of the day so far. That one's going to be high, briefly pop out of the glove. They're going to try for third. Hom throws down there, and they got him. That one briefly got away from Felix Hom, but sort of similar to the play that Naughton made a couple innings ago. Hom himself turning lemons into lemonade, picking up that passed ball and gunning down Cross at third.
Well, Jesse, even though he wasn't able to get it first chance, Hom, he made a great eyes-up play to get it out to third to Brendel to end the inning. And Jesse, that strikeout wasn't needed for Rabiner, as although they ended the inning there, Jesse, they really wanted that strikeout earlier from Rabiner to not allow that run, as the game's now tied.
Yeah,
so this Brookline offense definitely going to need to show some of what they did in that first inning, as these last 2 innings have been a little lackluster for Brookline.
Yeah, that one close 2-2 pitch that Hom thought was strike 3 was called a ball, and you know what? That's the official's call to make. You gotta abide by it and just play with it, no matter whether you agree or disagree. You gotta respect that. It's the ump's call to make, and they made it. And then Rabiner just missed on the next pitch for ball 4, and then Cross made him pay for not getting that out with the RBI double to left. And now Brookline has to respond on offense here, as we're tied up at 2 apiece. Coming to the plate now, the first baseman, number 18, Adam Rosenblatt. Didn't get to finish his plate appearance last inning, as DePaulo got picked off at first. Takes strike 1 there from Burns, as that one going to miss low for ball 1. Burns himself having a pretty strong outing. Just 2 runs allowed, both of them unearned in that first inning off of some defensive mistakes, as Rosenblatt hits one through the right gap into right field for a leadoff single, his second hit of the day, as he is hitting well.
Well, yeah, Jesse, definitely. Rosenblatt's done a great job. And Brookline, really, this is a chance in the start they wanted here at the bottom of the 4th, And this is a great scenario here for Brookline.
Leadoff runner aboard as a potential go-ahead run. Lincoln Hafner shows the sack bunt, but misses. It was called a strike and a strike rather than a foul ball, as Rosenblatt briefly took off running, but skittered back to the bag, as that's simply strike one.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Lincoln Hafner, beside that first amazing game you and I were at, he's really cooled down so far this season. And this is a scenario and a chance for him to prove himself here, because we saw some glimpse of what he's done.
And he lifts a deep shot out to right center, going back. That's to the wall. Lincoln Hafner delivers with a big shot as he goes down to second with a double. Rosenblatt was a little late to take off in case it was caught, so he is going to hold at third. But a big double for Lincoln Hafner puts runners at second and third with nobody out for the Warriors, as up comes the left fielder, number 4, Eli Hoffman. Two big back-to-back hits for Brookline. A bit tough to see the batter here with the first base coach kind of blocking our view. Stepping forward a bit, okay, a little bit better to see there.
Yeah, and just touching back to that, Hafner did a great job, as we talked about, cooled down, heating up a little bit. It's a great start.
Having a nice day so far, 2 for 2 with a single, a double, and an RBI, as Eli Hoffman gonna take strike one there. Hoffman flew out to left to lead off the second inning. He'd certainly like to put a ball in play with two teammates in scoring position here with nobody out. The entire infield pulled up on the grass for a potential play at the plate on a grounder, as that one gonna miss outside for ball one. And a ball to the outfield has a very good chance to score a run, either on a base hit or a sac fly if Hoffman can lift it. And he does lift it out to center. It's caught, and he caught it a bit too shallow and in a good spot to make a throw, so Rosenblatt gonna hold. Hoffman not able to advance the runners on the flyout as it was just too shallow, and that'll be out number one.
Yeah, good spot there, and I like the idea here. But with the man on second and third, Wally Lawrence up here has a chance to do something big for Brookline as the game's knotted up at 2.
1-0 off the high inside pitch there. Lawrence, no RBI so far this season as he missed the first chunk of it due to a rib injury. Checks his swing, but shouldn't have, as that's going to be strike one. Lawrence, his last time up, reached on an error on a ground ball to short as the throw popped out of the first baseman's glove. That one gonna hit the zone as well, strike two. He certainly would prefer to put this ball in play, get it over the infield to give the runners a chance to come in. But he's gonna swing and miss. Two big out gets for Burns as Brookline on the verge of blowing a golden opportunity here. Runners at second and third with nobody out, and they might come away with nothing now. 2 outs as up comes the center fielder, number 3, Devin Chin.
Well, really can't give this scenario up, as this is one of the best spots Brookline has had and might have this whole game.
They go for the squeeze play, fouled off by Chin for strike one. And a gutsy call there with the infield pulled in, or, well, actually, no, the infield's pulled back to get that third out, but the third baseman gonna edge up on the grass as they know what Chin is capable of on those short plays. Gonna move in a little closer here. 0-1 the count. Now goes for the swing. It's a high bouncer over to third, caught by the third baseman, throw to first, and they didn't get him! Devin Chin with the speed as he legs that one out for an RBI infield single.
Well, Jesse, I would say anyone else on this team, that would have been an out. But talk about Devin Chin. Just the fact, showing his speed ability and Brookline will take the lead there, but all credits to Devin Chin, did such a great job getting there, and Brookline take the lead with men on corners. It's still not over, and Elias Brendel, the guy you want here, already had a home run here earlier this season. This would be a dream scenario for him.
Big swing and a miss there for strike one. Devin Chin with his second infield RBI hit of this season so far off of that one, as he took that signature lunge of his to the bag in time. Chin now taking off for second. That ball did hit the outside corner. They called the strike. Catcher lost the ball on the exchange, and it's going to be two in scoring position now as Chin moves to second. Lincoln Hafner still over at third. And Elias Brendel back against the wall with an 0-2 count, but a big opportunity here with runners at second and third and two out to potentially try and break this game open. That one misses just outside. A gutsy watch for Brendel, but it pays off for ball one.
Well, with an 0-2 count there, I was great vision there.
And a good eye again, as that one also misses just away for ball two. Brendel, I tell you, he's got ice in his veins when he's in these type of situations. And he fouls that one off to stay alive at 2-2.
You can tell he wants it, Jesse, though. That effort was right there, and we saw the intent. He's trying to go to the yard, but this is the scenario. Not going to have much better opportunities in this game.
And he skies that one out of play, still staying alive here at the plate with a 2-2 count, two down, runners at second and third. Brookline with a one-run lead, courtesy of the RBI infield single by Devin Chin, who now currently stands at second. And Brendel has battled his way to a full count as he patiently watches that one drop outside the zone for ball three.
Well, definitely. I mean, started off 0-2 count. Like you said, the vision's been there.
And he skies this one out to right. Right fielder tracking it, under it, and got it for out number three. Brendel gives it a battle, gives that ball a ride, but ultimately got too much under it. But Brookline, at the end of four, they take the lead off of that clutch two-out RBI infield single from Devin Chin. At the end of four, Brookline 3, Milton 2. And during this break between the fourth and fifth innings, we're going to take another moment for a sponsor read here to thank our local sponsor, Esch Dental. Do you have a tooth that's been worked on once, twice, three times, and it's still giving you problems? Have you been told it's time to give up the fight on that tooth and have it extracted? Hey, it happens to a lot of us. Dr. Esch performs a multitude of procedures to get that infected tooth out and an implant in. All of Dr. Esch's implants are digitally guided, which means the surgery takes place on a digital model of your jaw even before your appointment. Digital implant placement is the safest, fastest, most predictable way to turn that problem tooth into a fixed and beautiful solution. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com. All that information in the description section down below. And we're going to have another guy returning to the plate after the inning ended on a runner being caught stealing, as the shortstop Jack Naughton steps back into the box, tips that one, and it'll be a 1-1 count here. We got a note in the live chat from Mary Walker saying, "Go Brookline Warriors," from Grandma in Groton, New York. Happy to see you tuning in, Groton Grandma. Hope you've been enjoying the stream so far, as that one's going to miss high and away for ball two. 2-1 now, the count to Naughton. That one also going to miss, a hitter's count at 3-1 to start this fifth inning. Rabiner wasting no time between pitches as he quickly throws strike two. Full count here. And this one, golf tie, going to stay in the infield. DePaulo calling for it, and he's got it for out number 1.
Yeah, DePaulo did a great job, like most of this Brookline team has done so far this game, tracking those somewhat difficult balls to grab out of the air and not allowing any unforced errors. And DePaulo did a great job right there, grabbing that one.
First pitch in there, strike 1. The third baseman, Teddy Dunn, at the plate here with 1 down as he takes strike 2 there. Dunn, his last time up, flew out to center to end the 2nd inning. And he slices this one up in the air. Hom looked for it briefly, but saw it going over the backstop and out of play. Dunn gonna stay alive at 0-2.
Yeah, these are the situations Rabiner puts a lot of these batters at, these tough 0-2 counts, and he's just done such a great job this season closing that. If we'll see if he'll be able to do it here, but just showing how strong he is as a young pitcher here for Brookline.
1-2 the count, and a hard bouncer gets past a diving Brendel and down the left field line. And it's chased down by Hoffman to hold Dunn to a single, but he will be on the board, or on the bases, I should say, as the potential tying run. Elias Brendel laid out to try and make a play on that one, but no chance as Dunn hit that one tightly up that third base line.
Yeah, Milton with Dunn done a great job trying to get back into this game here.
And we're going to see a pinch runner coming in here in place of Dunn. Looks like number 6, Mike McGee, going to be running here in place of Dunn as they bring in a temporary pinch runner to try and generate some speed as they're there we go. Sorry about that, folks. I stepped on a wire, knocked off the audio interface connected to our headsets. That's my fault. A lot of wires here. That was strike 1, I believe, to Peter Buckley, who is at the plate here with McGee, the pinch runner, at first, representing the potential tying run here in the top of the 5th with 1 out here in the inning. Buckley hits a bouncer, gets past Rosenblatt into right, chased down by Bollinger. Oh, the runner's trying to stretch it down to 3rd, and the throw dies on the grass as McGee does get down to 3rd as Milton takes advantage of the E3.
Yeah, gutsy call there for McGee, but it works out as Bollinger doesn't get enough height on that one. And Brendel was right there, but just a little too short and a little too late. And with men on corners here, Milton's put in a good scenario here, but this is where the young Nikolai Rabner has to step up here. This is such an important scenario here for him to get a strikeout or something here, as doesn't want to let Milton creep back into this game, as it's only a 1-run game here for Brookline.
The attempted pickoff throw there, trying to get that 2nd out, but no dice as Buckley dives back. Harry Hinkle gets jammed, and it's caught over at 3rd. They try to throw to 1st. Not in time for the pickoff, but a nice quick grab by Elias Brendel as Harry Hinkle pops out there. Nice inside pitch from Rabiner to induce the pop-up. And just like that, 2 down now as up comes a dangerous hitter, Scott Longo. He is 1 for 2 so far today with a home run and a pop out to 2nd. Now up with runners at the corners and 2 down in a 1-run ball game, as they're going to say that one missed, ball 1.
I mean, Jesse, you said it right there. This is the guy here for Milton. This is who you want in this scenario. He already had the solo homer earlier. As you can see right there, he was swinging for that. And with men on corners here, this is definitely an important scenario here, a crucial one for Nico Rabiner, eyeing for something big here.
Timeout called, and they resettle in the box. 1-1 the count to Longo. Tips that one off the ump's face mask, and he's going to walk the sting of that one off. They're going to take a quick look at him, make sure he's okay, as that one might have hit. It seems like he felt that one. So we're going to take a brief timeout here, as it's a 1-2 count to Scott Longo, with Peter Buckley at first, Mike McGee, the pinch runner, at third. 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Brookline leading 3-2. Looks like the ump is okay. That's good to see.
Well, Jesse, always it's a scary thing back there. So when you take one like that, just glad he's okay, as he's laughing and shaking that one off here. But we'll give Rabner some time to digest the scenario he's in right here, as this is such a crucial one for Brookline, as they still hold the 1-run lead.
Now Rabner stepping off the hill here, taking a beat and resetting himself. And this one's skied by Longo, out to right. Lawrence coming in for it, and he's got it. Almost looked like he was about to pop out of his glove, but he does secure it. And Nico Rabiner, we've talked about his ability to escape the jam, and he puts that one on toast as well, as Brookline maintains the lead at the end of the top of the fifth, 3-2, as Milton strands runners at the corners.
Well, like you said there, Jesse, Brookline, especially credit to Nico Rabiner, did a great job getting out of that inning, but this is now where your offense needs to step up here. With still only a 1-run game, this game is anybody's, and with still a couple innings to go, this would be a great scenario for Brookline to allow themselves to get some more runs on the board and not allow this to be a one-score game, because they've never had a lead more than one, and this is their time right here.
Indeed, it's been a tight back and forth contest so far. Milton took the 1-0 lead in the top of the first. Brookline took the 2-1 lead at the end of the bottom of the first. Milton tied things up at 2 in the top of the fourth. Brookline answered back to take the 3-2 lead in the bottom of the fourth. And so Brookline has only scored so far in innings where Milton scored in the top half. They didn't score in the top half of the fifth. Can Brookline break the pattern here? Hugh Bollinger chases the breaking ball low there for strike one. Bollinger so far today 0 for 1 with a flyout and a walk. Takes that one for strike two as that hits the inside corner.
Yeah, you talk a little bit about his struggle that he's had, at least hitting-wise, against this Milton team, as he was 0 for 4 in their last matchup. So hoping to get something here.
Had a good result his last time at the plate, drawing the leadoff walk, but was forced out on a double play ball. And he lifts this one out to left, and it's caught. Left fielder had to do a bit of a turnaround job there, but ultimately well secured out and left by Timmy Cross for out number one.
Yeah, you said there, Jesse, exactly correct, as he thought the ball was going to go a little right, or excuse me, left of his body, and it went right. Sorry, it was
No, you
right.
had it right.
Yeah.
It was to the batter's right and to his left initially is what he thought, but then he had to turn around to go, lean to his right or the batter's left and make that catch. Directionals are hard, but you did a good job there. Felix Hom hits a grounder up the middle, a bit slow, but picked up and thrown as Naughton makes the play there for out number two. Quick 2 outs from Brookline here in the bottom of the fifth, as up comes the shortstop, number 5, Jimmy DiPaolo. DiPaolo been having a pretty good day at the plate so far. 1 for 2 as he grounded into a fielder's choice that almost turned into a double play, but he reached on an error and later came in to score his first time up. Got a single his second time up, this time a hard bouncer, fielded at second and thrown to first. And Brookline is sent down in order to end the 5th inning. Our score at the end of 5, Brookline 3, Milton 2. And at the end of this 5th inning, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight, and I'd like to tell you about Brookline Cares. Brookline Cares is a volunteer organization run by Brookline High School students, which seeks to raise awareness and funds to help people experiencing homelessness. Brookline Cares works closely with an organization called the Empowerment Plan. The Empowerment Plan hires and trains those experiencing homelessness to manufacture their special type of coat, known as the Empower Coat, which can double as a sleeping bag. The coats help to keep those struggling with homelessness warm during the colder months of the year, while the jobs manufacturing those coats can help break the cycle of homelessness through gainful employment. Brookline Cares purchases and distributes those Empower Coats as well as Bombas socks. They distribute them to local community organizations and emergency departments that care for the homeless, and you can help them bring more warmth to those in need. Down in the description section of this video, you can find a link on the website classy.org where you can donate money to the Brookline Cares team, supporting their efforts to purchase more Empower Coats. Or if you're a student interested in joining Brookline Cares, you can check out the organization's own website on wixsite.com. That link also in the description section, where you can find more information about the group and how you can contact them. Once again, check out those links in the description section down below and help spread the warmth with Brookline Cares. So those links down in the description section. We start the top of the 6th here. Rabiner back on the hill for his 6th inning of work as that one misses inside for ball 1 to Antoniewicz. And another one skipping the dirt, ball 2. Rabiner is going deep into this game. Got to keep an eye on how well his stuff is handling. You know, when fatigue sets in, you can lose not just speed, but also control of your pitches the deeper you go into a game. And in a game this tight, Brookline's got to keep a close eye on that.
Yeah, definitely, Jesse. And I believe last week, I think it was against Natick, he did play all innings, but he did a great job controlling himself, so we know he has the ability to do that.
As he has the ability there to induce another pop-up as it's chased down by Bollinger for out number 1. And I mean, we've talked a lot about how what a solid day Brookline's been having in the field so far. A couple of infield errors here and there, but not much. And part of that is the weak contact that Rabiner has forced out of these Milton batters, as that's going to be a high ball 1 to the designated hitter, Brady Sturdivant. That one hits the zone for strike 1. Sturdivant so far today, he struck out his first time up, grounded out to third his second time up, 0 for 2, as that one bounced in the dirt for ball 2. That one hits the zone. It's a 2-2 count so far to Sturdivant. 1 out, bases empty. That one gonna miss, slowing away ball 3. It's gone ball, strike, ball. Will Rabiner continue the pattern with a strike here on the payoff pitch? Let's see. And it is a strike, and it's gonna be another pop-up. DePaulo calls for it and snags it for an easy out number 2.
Yeah, Brookline really just trying to get out of this inning here, as they want to have another offensive chance quickly before Milton's able to tie or get the lead here. But with 2 outs here and nobody on base, good scenario here for Rabiner to get a quick strikeout to end the inning. I think that's what he's eyeing for here.
2 low balls to Ryan Kelly here, and you know what's interesting, Nico, as Rabiner gets strike 1 there, Rabiner has not gotten a strikeout since the second inning. He got 3 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. Everything has been inducing contact since then, but so far it's worked, as that one just misses for ball 3. But that's kind of the versatility that Rabiner has, is he can have days where he gets a bunch of strikeouts, and he has days where he can get contact like that one. Fielded on the bounce by DiPaolo, but it couldn't be scooped off the bounce by Rosenblatt, and Kelly is going to reach on the error. I'm going to call that one an E6, as that was a tough scoop off the bounce from Rosenblatt, so I think we'll score that one a throwing error for Jimmy DiPaolo.
Yeah, I mean, and you said, just kind of circling back to what you were saying, is we had that day for Rabiner, I believe it was against Boston Latin, where he had, about 10 strikeouts, I think?
Exactly.
And now you have a day like this where a lot of this, like you said, has just been induced off contact. So it really just shows the versatility. But Rabiner really got to settle in right here, get a strikeout.
We got a pinch runner coming in. Number 9, John Sullivan at first base is now up as the left fielder. Number 2, Timmy Cross. Cross got a 2-out RBI double his last time up, as he fouls that one up the third base line for strike 1. So Cross, I believe, 1 for 2 so far today with that double and a fly out to left. He's pulled everything to the left field side so far. We got some harsh winds blowing towards that left field side, as that's going to be a high ball 1 to Cross.
Yeah, like you said, the wind here starting to pick up. And we talked about early how the wind's definitely going to change. And now, like you said, blowing left. So definitely on the offense and defensive side of the ball, when tracking and hitting, ball's going to move a little differently.
Check swing foul there from Cross. Keeps him alive at a 1-2 count. But favorably for the defense, this wind is blowing slightly towards home plate, as Cross is going to slice that one out of play as well to still stay alive at 1-2. Sullivan, the pinch runner at first, representing the potential tying run. 2 down here on the top of the 6th. And a swing and a miss. Nikolai Rabiner gets his first K since the second inning and gets out of another inning unscathed, as Brookline maintains their lead going into the bottom half of the 6th.
Yeah, definitely there, Jesse. And Nico showing how much of a strikeout specialist he can be, although he hasn't had
not necessarily today, but he got one
yeah,
there.
Although he hasn't had many so far today, he did a great job in the scenario where Brookline needed him most. And he did a good job right there, as this Brookline offense really going to need to do a good job here, get some runs here and advance their lead, as it's only 1 so far.
They'd certainly like to give Rabiner a cushion to work with in the final inning. Regardless of whether or not Brookline scores, Milton down to their final 3 outs, and you know, as they send Burns back out for his 6th inning of work, you know that they would like to make this as doable as possible for their offense and keep it a 1-run ball game. But Brookline going to be trying to get some insurance runs to help out their pitcher, as it'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters, Rosenblatt, Hafner, and Hoffman, due up here. As, boy, it feels like every time Rabiner steps on the hill for Brookline, we get a tense pitcher's duel that just flies by so fast, as we're barely over an hour into this game. First leading off is the first baseman, number 18, Adam Rosenblatt, as he takes ball 1 inside. Rosenblatt 2 for 2 so far today with a pair of singles. Scored Brookline's most recent run on that RBI infield hit by Devin Chin. Hits bouncer over to first. It's fielded cleanly by Kelly this time, and that'll be out number 1.
Yeah, definitely not the start we wanted, but Jesse, just kind of wrapping back to what you said, at least what we thought after the first couple innings, I mean, at least the first or second, I personally thought this game might have a bigger score than what we have right now, 3-2. After in the first inning, it was 2 for Brookline and 1 for Milton. And beside that, there's been 2 other runs for either teams.
That one going to hit the inside corner for strike one to the designated hitter, Lincoln Hafner. Hafner 2 for 2 today with an RBI single and a double, as he takes an outside ball 2. And yeah, I mean, this game started off with a home run, and since then it's mostly been all about defense. As Hafner hits a shot up the middle, 3 for 3 today. Lincoln Hafner having himself a day at the plate and hoping that his teammates can bring him in. He's been on base 2 times previous, been left stranded both times. Well, and not even a chance to leave to get stranded the first time he was on base, as the runner was thrown out on the base paths during his 2-out single. But now represents potential insurance run, as that's going to be an outside strike 1 to the left fielder, number 4, Eli Hoffman.
Well, definitely, Jesse, showing what we saw in his first, I believe it was the second game of the season. First.
It was the team's second, but it was
Yes,
Hafner's
yes,
first.
yes. And he's kind of cooled down, but really showing off today, as he's had a pretty big influence and done well getting on base here, just like he did. And Brookline's really got to help him out here, trying to get him home to advance their lead, get a couple insurance runs here.
0-2 the count to Hoffman. He's 0 for 2 so far today with a pair of flyouts. Gets a piece of that one. Staying alive. You know Hoffman would like to have a better result than last time, as he got a shallow flyout to center field that wasn't deep enough for a proper sac fly. The left runner is at second and third. Now he is hoping he can move his teammate along, but is back against the wall at 0-2. Reaches low, hits a grounder up the first base side, picked up by Kelly, and he applies the tag. Hoffman tried to dodge, but no dice, but he does at least move the runner along on the ground out. Hafner now in scoring position, but 2 down here, as up comes the right fielder, number 11, Wally Lawrence. Lawrence 0 for 2 so far today, has reached on an error and struck out. Takes strike 1 there.
Yeah, definitely, as Lawrence hasn't really had so many chances to show off this season, as he hasn't been able to play. This is definitely a scenario where he can show off, because we know the veteran presence he provides to this Brookline team, and this would definitely be a pivotal moment for him to shine.
The junior outfielder missed a chunk of the year due to injury, fouls that one off for strike 2. Was recently named a co-captain for the 2025 BHS boys soccer team this coming fall. We'll see if he can provide a clutch veteran moment here, as he gets a check swing grounder over to short, fielded by Naughton, throw to first, bounces high, and coming in to score is Hafner. Wally Lawrence reaching on the E6 and getting Brookline the insurance run they so desperately wanted.
We'll talk about the spot where they needed him most, getting an insurance run there for Brookline. And it's not over here yet, as Wally Lawrence is now on second. But a 4-2 lead, the largest lead for Brookline here so far today.
Largest lead for either team, as it's never been more than a single run. Brookline now leading by 2. A runner at second with 2 down, as up comes the center fielder, number 3, Devin Chin. Swings and misses at that breaking ball for strike 1. Chin 1 for 2 today with a steal and an RBI, as so far, or actually takes ball 2 there. I'm trying to see where his, there it is. He struck out his first time up, so he struck out and hit that big go-ahead infield RBI single. And he lifts a blooper over the second baseman and into center. Wally Lawrence racing around third, heading for the plate, and he slides in safe. What a day for Devin Chin. His second straight RBI single.
We'll talk about the insurance runs, and But more importantly, talk about how the impact of Devin Chin, he had a speedster bunt, I believe, earlier in the game where he got out to first and allowed another run to score. And same thing there as Wally Lawrence gets a run and a 3-run lead here for Brookline. And it's not over. Like we've said, Devin Chin's now on second. And a great offensive inning here for Brookline, Jesse.
Absolutely. And, you talked about it earlier in the day, Nico, how sometimes this Brookline offense takes a little time to get going. And a big inning here with 2 runs right here at the end, right when they wanted to give a cushion for their pitcher who's had such a strong day so far, keeping them in it. And it's turning out well for them at the moment. With 2 down and a runner at second, up comes the third baseman, number 9, Elias Brendel. That pitch going to miss outside for ball 1. Brendel so far today, he has drawn a walk and scored a run, and then after that flew out to center as he takes strike 1 there, and then his last time at the plate he flew out to right. So 0 for 2 with a walk and a run so far for Brendel as he's staring down a 1-1 count with a runner at second and 2 down. That one gonna miss to the outside, ball 1.
Well, we've seen so far in this game, Jesse, he's had some shining moments of just him being able to control his vision and not swinging on anything. But, Jesse, this is the guy you would like in this scenario with a guy on second. He's your home run hitter. He had one earlier in the season.
Close thing they've got to a home run hitter. But you're right, he does have a significant amount of pop in his bat, but with Chin being the runner at second, even a single to the outfield has a good chance to bring him in, especially running on contact with 2 outs. That one going to be fouled off the backstop for strike 2. And, of course, even more than on the offense, on the defense is where Brendel has really shined today. A strong day at third base. On a day when both infields have struggled, Brendel has been making plays whenever the balls come his way. As he takes that one high and away for ball 3, a full count here with 2 down and a runner at second. Brookline leading by 3. Trying to potentially make it 4 before they go into the 7th and final inning. And he hits a bouncer over to first. Kelly fields it, flips to first. They missed! Another error by the Milton infield as Chin comes in for run number 6 for Brookline. Brendel looked like he might have potentially missed the bag initially on that one as he was trying to dodge around the body of Burns, who was covering the bag there, but miscommunicate. I don't know what happened. They just missed the throw. They've been missing a lot of those timing throws in the infield, and unfortunately Burns, part of that error, he is now going to come out and leave the game. He had such a strong first 5 innings, allowing just 3 runs, only one of them earned for the Wildcats, but then this last inning has just been so tough as a couple of defensive mistakes allowed this inning to keep going. And so 6 runs to his name, but really only one of them earned.
Yeah, Jesse, and I mean, talk about a turn of events. I mean, Milton was looking to go to the top of the 7th with only a couple runs needed to tie or get the lead, but now this is just an uphill battle as they're going to need 4 runs just to tie it. And the inning's not even over, Jesse, as Elias Brendel is still on first, as Hugh Bollinger will step up here.
That's right, and he'll be facing the new pitcher for Milton, number 16, Raphael Corcoran, as he takes over for James Burns, who, despite a strong start to the day, is the pitcher on credit for the loss if this if Milton does not at least come back and tie it. Nikolai Rabiner, even if he doesn't come on for the 7th and final inning, would be the pitcher on credit for the win if Brookline holds on to this lead for one more inning, as he was the pitcher on credit when Brookline took the lead. And we got another note in the live chat from T.E. Bray. Good game, go Brookline, from Grandpa from Milwaukee. Brookline on the verge of potentially capturing win number 9, which would put them just one win away from an automatic playoff berth. Stepping to the plate now, the second baseman, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. First pitch, and he rockets one out to center, but it's right at the center fielder for out number 3. Kind of similar to the way he started back in the first inning. Good contact, but right at the center fielder. But we are through 6 here at Warren Field, and as we get ready to head to the 7th and final inning, our score now, Brookline 6, Milton 2. And during this break between the 6th and 7th inning, I'd like to take one last moment to thank our sponsor for today, Esch Dental. Esch Dental in Coolidge Corner doesn't just focus on smile rehabilitation. Their real passion is smile preservation. If you are ready for a local, sophisticated, sole ownership dental office to take care of your 6-month cleanings, no need to look any further than Esch Dental. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com. And once again, you can see that link and phone number in the description section down below. You can also see a link and phone number for the Brookline High Booster Club's official account where you can donate money to them. And you can also see the links for our local charity spotlight, Brookline Cares, down in that description section. And Brookline's going to stick with Rabiner as he's going to try and get his 2nd consecutive complete game win after what he did against Natick last week. And he has much more of a cushion to work with here as he'll be facing the bottom of the order here. Skips in that first pitch for ball 1 to the shortstop, number 17, Jack Naughton. It'll be Naughton, Dunn, and Buckley due up for Natick. They're 7, 8, 9 hitters. That one also skips in the dirt, ball 2.
I mean, talk about the stamina Rabner's got to have. Such a young pitcher here, but he showed now twice so far in recent games he's able to play the full 7 and see if he's able to close this out here for Brookline like he did against Natick.
2-1, the count to Naughton. And that one's going to skip in the dirt as well. And boy, if those dirt balls keep happening, you might want to think about putting somebody in, if for no other reason than to at least save the young man's arm. Gets the swing and the miss on the breaking ball, though, as he's got a full count now. No action in the Brookline bullpen as of yet. And that's going to miss for a leadoff walk for Naughton.
Yeah, he's just got to control himself a little more there. Just got to figure out a way to close this game out. But that's the guy you want out here, Jesse. That's your number 1. It's your ace. This is who you want in this scenario.
Attempted pickoff, throw, and Naughton dives back safe. Stepping into the box, the third baseman, number 8, Teddy Dunn. First pitch, and he skies it out to the outfield. It's being tracked by Chin, and he's got it for out number 1. Nice, quick one-pitch out. Rabiner's got to be happy about that one. They are 2 outs away. Now stepping to the plate should be the second baseman, number 7, Peter Buckley, and it will be. No pinch hitters here at the bottom of the order in the final inning as that first pitch high for ball 1. That one, I couldn't tell. I think he was just adjusting his face mask. I don't think he was making a strike signal there. So I believe that's ball 2. That one fouled off by Buckley, strike 1. Buckley, so far today, he has flown out to center and reached on an E3. And he hits that one, but it's a slow liner taken by DePaulo. Not enough time for the pickoff at first, but Brookline now just 1 out away from finishing the job here at Warren.
Yeah, one more needed here for Nikolai Rabiner. And he's done such a great job so far in this game. Just needs to close it here.
Harry Hinkle, the leadoff hitter and right fielder, taking a high strike 1 there. The last chance for the Wildcats. Naughton at first off the leadoff walk. But Rabiner has gathered himself and regained his control nicely after that leadoff walk. And now an 0-2 count to Hinkle, just 1 strike away. And he hits a bouncer over to second, fielded by Bollinger, thrown to first. The throw is high, and Hinkle is going to reach on that one there. And so Milton is not quite done yet. Rabiner managed to induce the weak contact, but Hinkle running fast down that first base line. Reaches base safely there, and it'll be Scott Longo at the plate as he hits a liner out to right center. It's going to be picked up by Chin, but at least 1 run is going to come in. A 2-out RBI single for Scott Longo. Brookline trying to get that last out, but Milton giving them a fight.
Well, yeah, I mean, Longo had the early home run, and we've seen so far this game just such a threat he provides for this Milton offense, shown right there, keeping this game manageable. I mean, 2 outs still here, Jesse, but men on corners here.
Tying run at the plate, and it is the catcher, Nick Antoniewicz, as he takes, I think that was strike 1. That one is going to miss for ball 1. I think it's, yeah, 1-1 is the count. That one coming in low, ball 2. Rabiner trying to get this last out and finish the job. That one is going to hit the zone for strike 2. 2-2. Once again, Milton down to their final strike. And it's lined out to left. Milton's not done yet, and they've cut this lead down to 2 with an RBI single from Nick Antoniewicz. And this might be the end of the day. Yeah, Rabiner not wasting any time. He is coming off the mound, and Brookline is going to have to bring out a reliever in what is now a very tight situation, as now the tying run is at first. Unbelievable here, as this is unbelievably going to be a save opportunity. And after Brookline got all those runs in the bottom of the 6th, Rabiner got those 2 outs, it seemed like it was going to end pretty swiftly for Brookline. But then the high throw from second allows Hinkle to reach, and then Longo with the single to right center to drive in Naughton. Antoniewicz, the single to left to drive in Hinkle. And despite the fact that Milton's been down to their final strike twice now this inning, they're still alive here as Brookline brings in number 10, Ben Cody, to try and shut the door here and get this final out. You can see Cody's stats so far this season on the screen. He has made a team-high 9 pitching appearances this season, 8 of them out of the bullpen, just 1 start. He's got a 2-1 win-loss record, a team-leading 2 saves, 21 innings pitched, a 2.00 ERA, a 1.62 WHIP, and 12 strikeouts. And this is a save situation as the tying run is on first here. And coming to the plate will be the designated hitter, number 15, Brady Sturdivant. In a very tight spot. Sturdivant so far today, he has struck out, grounded out to third, and popped out to short. Here we go. Game on the line. First pitch from Cody. That one hits the zone. Strike one. It was dropping off the table, but they say it crossed the plate in the zone. That one just misses though, ball one. Longo at second. The courtesy runner at first. This one lifted out to left. Hoffman back for it, and he's got it. And Brookline holds on to win. The final score here at Warren. The Brookline High Warriors 6. The Milton High Wildcats 4.
Well, Jesse, I mean, that looked a little dicey there for a minute for Brookline, but they'll end it and will get the win much needed here, as they just need one more to advance to an automatic playoff position. They'll take on Wellesley next, but definitely a big one here for Brookline, as they want to get as high of a seed as possible, because last year they went out early against BC, such a strong team. So just looking to get as high of a seed as possible for Brookline.
And despite kind of a tough day for the Fielders defensively, pretty solid pitching effort from both sides. Not a lot of earned runs here. I mean, we'll have to double check based on some of the calls, like whether they call that an error on Bollinger or an infield single for Hinkle is going to decide whether Rabiner finishes the day with 2 or 4 earned runs. A big difference there. But he did last 6 2/3 innings on the mound, and he does get the win, his team-leading 4th win on the mound, as Ben Cody, with just 1/3 of an inning pitched, picks up his team-leading 3rd save, which is more than the entire team had all season last season. Brookline with a big offensive inning in the bottom of the 6th to get 3 runs of insurance, which turns out they really needed, as they finish the job and get the win. Brookline improves to 9-6 on the season. Milton falls to 7-8, and like you said, Nico, Brookline 1 win away from an automatic playoff berth, and they'll have a chance to once again do it against Wellesley, as they'll be, I believe, back here at Warren on Wednesday. And we'll be back. My mistake. It's on the road. I thought it was here at home, but it's actually going to be on the road at Sprague Field, the same field where Brookline clinched their playoff berth last year. I think because Brookline has already played Wellesley at home. Initially, it was going to be first in Wellesley, then at Brookline. But what happened was the Wellesley field got too wet, and they weren't able to play on it that day. Back in April, so they played it here at home. That one, of course, was a thriller, a 5-4 win for Brookline on a walk-off RBI single by Owen Hoffman in the bottom of the 7th. Brookline won by an identical 5-4 score in their second game against Wellesley last year in Wellesley that clinched their playoff berth. And we'll see what they're going to do on Wednesday, as Nico and I will be back on the call for that one. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel can help with that. But for this live stream, we're going to wrap things up. One last thank you to our local sponsor for today, Esch Dental. The team at Esch Dental understands dental anxiety. Some patients just need a friendly face to put them at ease. Others need the help of additional gases or medications. Dr. Esch and his team can help you wherever you are on the journey to find a solution to manage your anxiety. Call 617-566-0103 or go online to eschdental.com to find out more and book your appointment. Once again, 617-566-0103 or go online to easchdental.com sportsbroadcastingservices.com. All that information in the description section down below, where you can also find a link where you can donate to the Brookline High Baseball Booster Club, and you can also find links related to our local charity spotlight, Brookline Cares. And further down in the description section, you can see some links related to me, which you can also see in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or if you want to skip past all that, you can email me directly with any questions, requests, or comments you may have. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, where I post highlights from previous live streams. But for this live stream, that's going to do it. Brookline 6, Milton 4, from Warren Field in Brookline, Massachusetts, alongside Nico Wise. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.